In my experience in working with NGO, being a worker in South Sudan, and over a number of years there, I have found that NGO staff, time after time, were burning out. United Nations staff, the turnover rate was incredibly rapid. And so I began to see that to survive in this kind of setting, I better learn how to take care of myself.
My whole professional career was spent in faith-based, obviously, the church as a pastor. And I don't think I knew words for it early on, because it seems like another lifetime ago now, but I had something in me that said, you know, I'm not going to work 60, 70, 80 hours a week like those around me work. And so I was single all those years, and I started to learn things about drawing boundaries, about self-care.
The focus for the course that we are doing is not on people who are traumatized right now. So it's not a trauma recovery course. It's really a course for the average person who is living in a very turbulent world and a rapidly changing world, so that all of us need to develop our skills at resilience.
Who should take this course? I think anyone that is very involved in helping others. So it would be those involved in peace building, those who work for non-government organizations, those who, pastors, people that are heads of organizations, again, that are very involved in trauma recovery, helping folks that help others.
One of the things that we talk about in how people deal with change and how it affects them. You can have a breakthrough experience with a shock, you can have a break-even experience, or you can have a breakdown experience. So it's not necessary that people rebound. Sometimes they fall apart in the midst of the shocks. And so there are a number of options that happen. What we don't have as an option is to avoid all the shocks and disruptions of life. Those are going to come for all of us. Some of us have a personality, a background, an attitude that makes us a bit more resilient than others. But everyone can learn to be more resilient than they are. One of the things Alice and I have done in preceding developing a resilience plan is to understand what's involved in developing nurturing resilience. And so we've developed a framework of how one develops personal resilience. And from that framework, people then will be able to look at their past history, their lifeline, the shocks they've been through, what means have they used to respond, what can they anticipate in the future is likely to happen based on where they might work or their own network of relationships. And so from that framework, they then will have an assignment to develop their own personal resilience plan for how they hope to nurture their resilience over the coming years.
And that's a large concept and plan, but within that are the small steps, again, of silence, meditation, restructuring beliefs, exercise, eating right, all those things that someone would say, well, of course. But there's a lot of people who say, of course, and yet their lives do not mirror that. We will look at things like cognitive restructuring, and that's like a 25-cent word that's really about how does my thinking influence how I feel and my worldview and all those things. And sometimes it's fairly faulty. With all of us, there are pockets of our way we think and the way we evaluate, the way we self-talk, the way we rehearse and rehash that are not helpful. So we do cognitive restructuring. We do a whole piece on silence, deep breathing, meditation, stress, and some of those coping mechanisms that, again, if a person is serious about their self-care and will begin to take some of these tools, and they're not difficult, it's a good tool to take care of yourself. But if there's a commitment to using those after the class is over, when they go back to home, work, all of that, I will guarantee that they're going to be healthier people.